Hello Jesters Court and welcome back for another exciting Just a Recap video. My name is Coach Dub. This is Kopy, our wonderful league founder. We are here to discuss an incredibly important award every year within the Jesters community. An award, a series of awards, however you may call it, that gets to shed a little light on some of the awesome, I'm not going to say tertiary, but certainly complementary pieces of some of these teams. This is the main stage cast selection. And oftentimes it does encapsulate not just our MVP students, but certainly some of those pieces in their teams that have helped them elevate their respective schools. So I'm excited to talk about this because this is always the one where I feel like you get to throw out some names that the league doesn't know in a household sense, but maybe one day will. I'm always excited to see this group. So tell me, I understand this is less from the eye test and more from the metrics.
It is, and I think this is probably the most overlooked accomplishment every year.
Very underrated.
And even in announcing this, it's really hard to talk about 20, and in one year we did 22 students 3 or 4 years ago. And I don't know if it gets the love it deserves every year, but it has all the same statistics that All-Stars do. It has all the same notoriety as our MVP list and whatnot. But basically, what the All-Star Mainstage casts are is just the same way that sports have All-Pro teams and All-Americans and whatnot, regardless of All-Stars. This is the league's way of saying if we were to close down the league and go to the MGM on the Strip and replace David Copperfield and have a high school Jesters the show, these are the 20 students I would take to do it. These are the students that I think could make that show be the best it could possibly be, not only from a skills standpoint, but from their ability to dazzle, from their ability to put themselves out there, from spirit. These are the 20 kids that could make the most successful impact if we were to put them all together based on the year they had this year.
This is something that says that you are already the type of a complete performer that's necessary to put on a production. We're not just talking about improv where we don't script it and you get suggestions. We're talking about who's ready to go out there and literally earn, folks. Like, you guys are great humans. You're great professionals in the improv realm, and beyond everything, you're also great for our league. So I'm excited, Kopy. I want to hear all about who is your second team, the 10 students who are your second team main stage selection.
Yep, so our second team so we split it into 2 teams, a second and a first. We do it every year to be selected to the second team and then to be selected to the first. I want to give you some stats. I don't think we've ever publicly announced stats on the main stage like we have for our All-Stars, so I would like to do that.
I have no idea what this means, so I'm so excited to learn your brain.
So there are 117 students over the history of the league that has had at least one main stage cast selection.
Okay.
Of those 117, only 26 of them have ever been selected more than once.
Okay.
So meaning they got a second team selection or a first team selection.
Cool.
So only 26 of them.
I'm ready.
Of the 117, only 7 of them have been selected 3 times. Of those 7, 3 of them are currently from this year. Yeah. So 3 of them have crossed over into that time. One of those 3 have been selected to the first team all 3 times. And that's the only, there's only 2 players in the league history that have ever done that, and one of them is for this year. And I will highlight that when we get to them.
I wonder who it is.
There's only 1 person in the league history that's ever been selected all 4 years of high school. And
does that happen today? Is there a 4-year on this list?
Well, she has since graduated, but Miley was selected to the main stage cast all 4 years of high school. 2 years as second team, 2 years as first team.
Yeah.
And then today we'll talk about this too. Only 6 players, so 6 of the 26 have earned their second selection. So they're selected a second time, and we'll talk about those 6 as we roll out the list.
These are longer lists, so I won't react for every individual. I might react for some. I don't know who's coming. So let's have some fun, folks, with our second team main stage selection for high school jesters, 11th season, 2019 to 2020.
For her first main stage cast selection from Bonanza, Eva Aguilar.
Yay! Eva's been huge for our league.
Yep, huge for our league, and it balanced out as a performer. She made the most improved category last year, and boy, did she figure out how to contribute in all categories this year.
Yeah.
So definitely deserved the nomination this year.
She's a great student. Maybe too humble, to be honest with you, girlfriend.
Too humble, yes, absolutely.
Number 2.
From Cimarron, Althea Carton.
Yeah! That's awesome.
Another Cimarron name making it out there into the world. Althea, last year, she was a transfer student from Rancho.
Mm-hmm.
Her performance elevated huge this year. It really made Cimarron just this multiple-headed giant with a lot of different heads, and she was definitely one of them.
She was never shy to pull the trigger. I think she just needed to get her accuracy up, and she did that this year.
She did it.
I'm happy for her. Good for you, girl. 3.
From Northwest, Erica Fish.
Okay.
Erica put in all the work over the summer. She got the taste of blood during the championship last year. She ended up performing in that championship. And this year she wanted it, man. And this year, a younger group of Northwests where they're just really trying to figure themselves out as a team, and she does what she does. I think she's a spark.
I like to say Erica reminds me a lot of some of the bigger names in our league that we've already discussed this year, like Marley. She reminds me of Marley a lot. She reminds me of those who are so confident in who they are that they just go for it, no matter what. Like Donovan, and from past years, like Isaac. Like she's got that streak in her. So good for you.
From Spring Valley, Nicole Fonts. Nicole, from day one, I knew how strong she could be, and I remember giving her that note. And even if she's stuck in a play and just busy, and it's hard for her to get to a practice, when she gets up there, she's just natural. And this year, after one of her shows, she's like, "Kopy, please give me some notes. Like, I want to improve." And I got there, and you just, as a coach or a teacher, you get to the point where it's like, I don't know what else to tell you.
Right.
Like, you are so capable of this, even with lack of practice. But this year, her performance was stellar enough to get her first selection for main stage.
Way to cross that. Way to get over that hump. And congratulations. Number 5.
From Basic, Evan Hardy.
Okay. Yeah.
Evan wowed me this year.
Yeah.
Crossed a category of wow. Basic as a team is a strong team, and all of their teammates have different things they contribute. Largely, Basic is a really good scene work team. But Evan's ability to do scene work just has this wow factor where his joke is the funniest, or his perception's the funniest. Reminds me a little bit of Duke.
Okay.
Old MVP Duke.
Duke Gilgalon from Gilgalon?
Gilgalon, yep.
Yep. 3 years ago?
Yep. So 2016.
It's quite a compliment, because Duke was a creator, very, very seldom compared to other performers in our league. So good for you, Evan. Number 6 for our second team.
From Sunrise, Ronnie Hahn.
Yeah, I think that's overdue.
Yep. Ronnie this year did the hard work that was necessary to make a scene better. And sometimes that means you can't be the funniest. Sometimes that means that you got to take a step over and help your teammate and pull them in.
Yes.
And Ronnie was able to do that probably in every scene he did.
In a world where you are the third when the other two are Luis and Dion, you're going to need to bring some level of even keel and some level of straight man to it, and Ronnie does do that incredibly well. And I know that he's come into his own a lot this year. I wish I could have seen more of it, but congratulations, Ronnie. Sunrise Mountain definitely would not be what they are without you. Number 7.
Also from Spring Valley, Hector Nunez.
Ooh, double Spring Valley love.
Yep. Hector, man. Hector reminds me a lot of Noah from last year. Noah Ahmed, MVP nominee. Just he hit some kind of stride this year of just hilarity, and what he says is funny, what he does is funny, his perception is funny, and he, I think, may have evolved into their guy, into their number one.
Wow.
I can't see a Spring Valley team without Hector up there come playoff time. So between Hector and Nicole and Ari's there. I mean, they might make some noise come playoff time.
Yeah, Spring Valley's been on the rise for a handful of years behind Ari. So to see someone else stand up and get your eye is super exciting. Yep. Spring Valley's been a great program on the rise for a while, so that's good. Congratulations. Kopy number 8. Number 8 for our second team main stage selection.
And this is an obvious one because the whole league loves him, but from Legacy, Marshall Rogers.
Aw, congratulations, Marshall. No surprise.
Just another guy that I think the league can't help but love when he's backstage, when he's in an audience. I constantly watch all these other teammates go up to him and talk to him and get Instagram or whatever they do, info. And as a performer, he is so good. He was definitely their leader. Might be very responsible for the rise of who they are as a team. Deserved it. Absolutely deserved to be here.
Cool. Congratulations. Number 9.
From Legacy, Caitlin Salyards.
Wow! Good job, Legacy. 2 reps on this team. That's great. And Caitlin, absolutely. Well deserved.
That two-headed giant with Marshall and Caitlin. And I have to give Marshall some credit here for paving the way. And I think almost saying, Caitlin, it's okay to be you up here because look at me, I'm me.
Yeah.
And Caitlin maybe in her first show wasn't quite sure how to put herself out there, but by the end of it, she figured it out. And so deservingly deserves to be in here. I think everyone that faced Caitlin this year or had an experience to work with Caitlin realized, wow, that girl's good. So absolutely.
Sometimes performers benefit from taking that long path to performing. You know, we've seen a couple of great examples in our time of performers who did only have that 1 year, but did spend that year putting out the most amazing content. So it's cool that she came in and just drilled the spot in that team.
Well, and also remember too, with the main stage cast list, is that we're basically saying that these are the 20 students, the first team, that we would want to go and put a show on with. These are the 20 that we think would absolutely put on the best show humanly possible.
And a lot of that has to do with open-mindedness, versatility, and a lot of Caitlin's strongest qualities, for sure. And our last selection for the second team main stage?
Number 10, and goes exactly to the point I just made. This is who I want to be on this top 20. From Del Sol, Izzy Stoyanova.
Yay, we got one! Woo!
I think...
Yay, and it's Izzy.
Yep. Izzy's growth into who she is, it was awesome to watch and see. Those of you that may know or may not know, Izzy kind of had a big prestigious moment last summer with Nevada Thespians. So she went to Nevada Thespians International in Nebraska and got selected for an improv award. Over not only her teammates, but over everyone from all the other states that went. And deserves it. She is such a quirky, character-y, just weirdo that allows herself to be someone else. And that's so hard for some of us, where some of us are so focused on just doing a scene or speaking in our own voice. I don't know if Izzy likes her own voice. I think Izzy has 10 other voices. So I'm happy.
Permission to talk about Izzy?
Sure.
Okay. The Stoyanova twins, with her sister Magdalena, have been my first 4-year students that I've coached from beginning to end. And I think I mentioned that at least 3 times so far during these, so I'm sorry. Izzy was, quite honestly, that one who needed this year to separate herself from her sister, who kind of beat her to a lot of these accolades from my perspective.
And those of you that don't know, they're twins. That's
literally twins.
Yes, they're literally twins.
And, you know, over the course of these 4 years, I've seen Magdalena play bigger roles in her plays. I've seen Magdalena get a lot of attention around the campus. So I'm thrilled to see how much Izzy has blossomed, and so grateful to both those twins for all that they've done for Del Sol Improv, for me as a coach, and for their commitment to making themselves the best they can be. And I'm especially proud of Izzy. Thank you for selecting her, because she did do a lot of work for us this season. She was one of the few students who I would say are my most experienced that got to do more than one show this year. Thankfully coming to our rescue, I think, in week 6. And she's just, what can I say without being too weird? I really am grateful for my twins. And I'm super proud of you, Izzy.
So, our first team, all Jesters Mainstage cast.
I'm sorry, I forgot to segue. I'm so happy for her.
I got it. So now you'll notice with this, and it doesn't always work this way, and I'm not going to go back to years past, but normally your MVP nominees fit into the Mainstage cast selections. So this year it also fits into the Mainstage cast selections, and especially here on the first team.
So here we go, rifle through.
So, from Valley, Gio Cerrone.
Hey, very good. Good job, bud.
He's earned it, man.
Yeah.
He has been a mainstay and constantly gets better, and last year's most improved.
Yeah.
And he's another guy, like when we talked in that MVP video, like Donovan and Marley, just everyone knows Gio. Or like Marshall we talked about a second ago. And it's not just because he's a likable guy, it's because he can produce and he can perform.
He's unflappable.
Yep.
He's unflappable. You give him a suggestion, he never looks at you and says, no thanks, I don't want that. He never bickers about what games to play. He never bickers about who he's going to play with. He never bickers about, you know, who's across the stage from him. He doesn't bicker about scores. He is just a honest-to-goodness, okay with it all, unflappable performer, and on top of it, an excellent human being, and has been since I've known him. So I'm so happy for Gio. He definitely deserves to be considered amongst the cream of our crop.
So to back this up with some stats, the entire second team, this was all of their first selections.
Nice.
Gio is one of the 6 performers this year who got another selection. So this is Gio's second time getting selected.
Yeah. No surprise.
Next on the list from Las Vegas High School, Ashley Davidson.
Yes.
On the first team.
Absolutely.
I think I watched coaches this year, and I heard a coach, and I'm going to quote this coach, this is probably word for word what he said to me, but he said he always knows for sure that Ashley is the best version of herself when he watches her perform. Because she is so committed and so dynamic and such a strong performer.
Yeah.
She had to be on the first team. Ashley actually now is one of the 7 students who have been selected 3 times. So Ashley has earned her 3rd selection, this being her first team selection.
Good for her. I think I've known since last year's matchup with Las Vegas High School with Del Sol that Ashley was going to have a big year this year. So I'm not surprised to see her included. Super excited for her. And that would bring us to our 3rd selection.
Of course, from Cimarron, Donovan DeVito. This is Donovan's 2nd selection for the Mainstage cast. Being nominated for MVP this year, this was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Donovan had to be here, one of the figureheads of the league.
Yeah.
So if we had a poster of the league, he should be on it.
Yep.
From Sierra Vista, Misha Provencher.
Yay! Done.
So Misha's nominated for MVP this year, and she was also an All-Star. She was the All-Star last year.
That's awesome.
This being her 2nd year in the league, she is definitely taking her strides. So welcome to the Mainstage cast.
You've made it, kid.
From Centennial High School, Mackenzie Ritchie.
Queen Adorable.
Queen Adorable. Mackenzie is such a good technician up there, and just knows how to help that team succeed, even when scenes are bad, even when scenes are going the wrong way. Mackenzie's always doing the right thing.
And her presence has come a long way over the course we've known her.
Her presence, her ability, her talent, she fits into an elite category, hence why she's on the first team.
Congrats.
From Durango, of course, Emmy Robinson.
Yeah.
Emmy is now one of the other 3 players who now have her third all main stage selection. She now has 2 first team selections and 1 second team selection.
Good on you, girl.
Nominated for MVP this year, of course she should be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 7?
From Burkhardt, Marley Steinlein. She, as I said in the MVP video, she should be our mascot, and as she should, she will wear some weird, fun pajama jumper, and best of luck to you in the MVP race, but deserves to be on the first team.
100%.
From Del Sol, Maggie Stoyanova.
Oh, we got both! We got both! We win! Twins! We win! Sorry. This is all natural, I promise. Are you really?
Yep. I have had my eye on how good the Twins are since they were freshmen, and been able to identify how different they are and what they can contribute. And Maggie's always been on my radar for how good of a scene work pioneer she is. And this whole first team main stage cast are all just drivers, people that know how to drive a scene.
Yep.
Whether they have to be the funny or not, and that's exactly what Maggie does. Is she drives that bus, man, flawlessly.
Yeah, that's a really great feeling for me as the coach of Maggie to hear her get that accolade, because it's her first selection to any main stage team, I think.
Yep, both of them.
She was, for both of them. But for her, I know she was kind of a fringe last year. You know, you've always said to me, especially, believe it or not, Twins, since freshman year, he's been saying, you ride the Twins, you have nothing to worry about. I kept giving opportunities to older students because I feel like all seniors should have their chance to lead the team in playoffs. I've always felt that way as a coach. And this year has been so bittersweet because I know how wonderful you are, both of you. I know how good you are, both of you. And I know how badly I wanted to watch you fly this year. And I don't think we got the chance to give you that chance. But thank you for recognizing my students, both of those Twins, because I mean, legit, I don't think improv would be what it is at Del Sol if I didn't have those kids. Because they recognized who was ready, and they would have been ready this year, man. I mean, and they will be.
Yeah.
They will be.
They
Thanks, Cope.
Go and do a 2-woman show.
Sure.
From Sunrise,
Last one.
Luis Vasquez.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is Luis' second selection for the main stage cast. MVP nominated this year, has to be on this list.
Yeah.
Has to be on this
Absolutely. That whole Sunrise Mountain team has been so funny. I don't know if I've seen a funnier group of kids come up just as a knot, ready to go, punching through it, and they really found their answer this year. So yeah, every single piece of them should be considered, a great fit for one of these lists.
And the last one, from Durango, Maya Swift.
There you go.
So Maya's the other player of the 3 who has her third main stage cast selection. She is actually only one of 2 players who've been selected to the main stage cast 3 years for the first team. So Miley has number 1 as far as getting 4 selections. Maya and Corey Shomi are number 2 for getting 3 selections, and all 3 of their selections were for the first team main stage casts. So of course Maya belongs on the first team list as she is nominated for MVP again.
Kopy, I have to say, I honestly think you outdid yourself this year. I am so grateful to hear some of the students I know and love get up there, many of them for their first time. But more so, I just feel like you got a really good group of balanced representatives. Like, multiple schools have multiple faces, but at the same time, these were the schools that grew the most this year behind these wonderful performers, and I think you recognize the right group.
Yeah, and it's tough. It is tough to narrow this down and get it to where it is. you know, in your scenario, say, well, like Izzy and Maggie were on that consideration list and on that bubble.
Right.
Didn't end up making it onto that actual list, but this year deserved to be on that list. So the scope is so much bigger outside of just what is officially announced. So just in future years, those of you that are younger that are trying to get into these scenarios, just know that I'm watching, I'm evaluating, I'm trying. This whole league is trying. So we're ready for what's to come in future years. But we got 2 more awards, so to speak, to announce.
And we'll be back next week to go over the 6 nominees and several honorable mentions for this year's Most Improved Improver Award. One of our favorites to give out each year. So we'll see you guys next week for another round of nominees. Stay well, stay safe.